folks, welcome back to another review with yours truly, Sam Healey. Today we're taking a look at Codenames pictures. Why in the world is Sam Healey, you may be asking yourself, reviewing Codenames pictures? Hasn't he been pretty on the up and up as far as his feelings about Codenames and anything related to Codenames? Well, yes. Thank you for asking that question. I have been very upfront about how much I dislike Codenames, the base game. So I wanted to take a look at Codenames pictures to reevaluate my opinion on the game system, so to speak, and see where it falls. Well, let's go ahead and take a look. We'll get down to the table, run through it, and I'll come back for my final thoughts in just a few moments. Let's get there. So in a game of Codename pictures, you have a grid that is set up, a 5x4 grid of picture cards that denote different kinds of scenes. And some of them can be kind of strange, some of them might seem a little bit plain, but the idea is that you're going to have one clue giver for each team, a red team and a blue team. And then the clue givers are going to be able to see this grid pattern that is right here, and it denotes the different spaces on the grid here that the red team wants to have his team guess. All of the red squares are the clues that he's trying to give. All the blue squares are the ones that the blue team clue giver is trying to get his team to guess. The things on the side of the card here denote which team is going to be the first player or team to go, and then the double agent is flipped over to whatever color that is and added to the deck. So the team who goes first has to guess more pictures than the team that goes second. So it's a little bit of a balancing act there. Now, in the course of the game, the clue giver is going to be giving clues that have basically two elements to it: a word and then a number. The number denotes how many pictures in the grid, according to the clue giver, is connected by the word clue that they give. So if I were to say something to the effect of animal 3, then possibly these 3 pictures would be the ones that I was trying to get the person to, the team to guess. So that's how you have to do. Now, there are some restrictions on what kinds of clues you can say and what you can say during the clue. Basically, the clue should be one word with no hyphens or spaces or anything like that. But if the opposing spy master says it's okay, then it's okay. Wordplay is allowed, so you can be as clever as you want to be. You are also allowed to spell the word that you use, just to make sure that there is clarity on what exact word you're saying. If somebody asks you to spell your word, you must do that. You can also say a clue, but you can't sing it or have any funny accents, or in foreign languages usually are not allowed also. Your group can choose to relax and be a little bit more allowing with the kinds of word clues that you'll be able to say, or you can be, more strict. It's really just dependent upon what your group wants to do. Generally speaking, though, you want to give clues that are about the pictures and not the shapes, like not rectangle or, circle or that type of stuff. You don't want to do that. You want to be a little bit more imaginative than that. Now, during the course of the clue giving, so let's say that since blue is going first, I'm going to try to give some clues to the blue team here, and they're trying to guess. The clue giver is trying to get them to guess these blue spots. If they guess a square that is not one of theirs, for example, if it's one of these beige spots, if they guess up here, then an innocent bystander would be placed out there, and that would end the turn. If they guess one that is their opposing team's square, then that also ends their turn. But if they guess correctly and they do get one of their own, then they are also able to make another guess that is up to the number that was given in the clue plus 1. So if I said animal 3 as I did before, then they would be able to make at minimum 1 guess, but at maximum 4 guesses. And that's so that you can try to catch up on one that you missed earlier or something to that effect. Now, another problem that can arise with guessing is that you actually guess the space. For example, here, that is the assassin. If your team guesses that spot, the game is automatically over with that team losing. And so that's generally how the game of Codename Pictures is played. Just to give you a very simple idea, if I want Blue to guess, I might say something like surprise 2. Surprise 2. And as they're thinking, they say, well, I think, well, you know, this was definitely a surprise. The Trojan horse was definitely a surprise. So we're going to go ahead and pick that one. And of course, that matches one of their blue spots. So I would place that on there. And then the next one is like, well, let's see, surprise. Let's see. Well, that's kind of surprising because, you know, we got a monster popping out of a building there. That would be interesting. That would be a surprise too, kind of like a birthday party, a surprise birthday party. I don't know, but I think maybe, goodness. And as you can see here, the team would be talking amongst themselves and garnering support for one choice or another. Let's say that they say, well, no, I think finding out that somebody is interested in voodoo, that would be a surprise. And, well, that would also get another one like this. But that's not what I was thinking. I was thinking surprise here, Trojan horse, and surprise birthday party. But I only said 2, so they could also say, you know, there's one more that could possibly be a surprise, so we're going to go ahead and choose that one as well. And then we would have gotten all 3 of those, even though I only said 2. So it is a little bit of a free-form type of game as far as that's concerned, but taking that extra guess is a little bit more risky, I guess you could say. And the teams go back and forth until one person has covered up, one team has covered up all of their spots on the grid, or one of the team finds this and that team loses. Now, it may be that after you finish the game that you want to play another game automatically, and that would be pretty easy to do because all you have to do is remove all of the tiles, and then you can just flip these cards over. They are double-sided, and then once you have them all flipped over, you have a brand new set of cards. You would take the grid deck here and randomly choose another starting grid, and you're ready to go. So there you have it. That's how you play Codenames Pictures. Now, there's not a whole lot of difference between this and regular Codenames, except for the fact that you're using pictures in this one and not words like in the other one. And that difference alone makes this one slightly better. Words have I guess you could say, a basement. That if you're below that basement, you can't play because, quite frankly, you can't read. One of the cool things about Codename Pictures is that someone who can't read very well, like a younger child, for example, my youngest, he can read, but it takes him a little bit longer than everybody else. With pictures, he doesn't have to read. There's no entry level there. Furthering that, English as a second language people, that might be a little bit of a difficult thing for people to come into. There's a barrier of entry that is more difficult than other people's. Pictures, however, not difficult at all. Furthermore, you can play pictures in any language you want to because there's no English on the words. There's no Polish on the words. There's no German on the cards. They're just pictures. So that in and of itself, I think, differentiates this from Codenames, the original game. So there's a leg up, so to speak, as far as that's concerned. Now, I recently have played this, I think, in the last 2 days, I've played this 5 times. And that has been at 2 different sessions. We played it 3 times one night and 2 times another night since we got this at Dice Tower Con. One session was with my family plus one. One of my boys' girlfriends was joining us, and then the other one was at youth group last night. At youth group last night, we played it twice right out of the bat. At my family session, we played it 3 times, and we were done. So there is another bonus that is there. This is short. It can be played quickly. There is a kind of a downside, though, that it can be over in the first round if your clue giver doesn't do a very good job and then your team also picks the assassin. There is that as kind of a downfall. But with all that being said, I think that Codenames pictures, I see how people that don't normally play board games love this, because I'm probably going to have to play this more often now, because I played it with my youth group last night and they loved it. I mean, they really enjoyed themselves more than almost any other game. Now, the group of kids that we had last night was slightly different than groups that I have played games with in the past, so there is that. However, I think there is a universal appeal to this game, and there were a couple of them that were not interested at all. But as on the majority, my youth group loved this game, so I'm going to have to be playing it later on. My own personal thoughts on the system. I still don't understand why gamers like this so much, because it really isn't a gamer's game. It's not a game that I'm going to excitedly hope that we play. I'm still not there, but I see how this can be another gateway game that people can reach out to those who don't normally play games and say, let's have some fun together around this. This one I enjoy more than the word version, just because it has more freedom. It has fewer restrictions that are around it. This can be played with smaller kids on up to older individuals, senior citizens. So I get the appeal for non-gaming audience, and so that is why I think this is a good gateway game, because it reaches out to people. I actually had one of the girls in our youth group last night said specifically, I don't usually play board games, but I really enjoyed this. And my response to her was, well, this was just the tip of the iceberg, because if you enjoy this one, there are many other games that are out there that you will also enjoy. So definitely gateway. I get it specifically. Still confused about why gamers like it so much. But that is Codenames Pictures. I'll give it 1 thumb up. And yeah, it's kind of grudging, but my youth group really enjoyed it. My family really enjoyed it. So there you have it.